Hello, everyone. Welcome. As you fill in, don't hesitate to kind of post in the chat. Tell us where you're from. Tell us whereabouts in the world you are, as kind of fun to see our global audience and where everybody are joining from. As you see on the screen, this is going to be the intro to zkEVM. So before we get a little started, kind of a little intro, this is going to be our fourth workshop of the layer hack that we have here at Encode Club. This is going to be the first of two workshops put on by zkSync. Today, as you see, it's going to be the intro to zkEVM. So thanks for everybody joining today. If you haven't registered for the hackathon, you still can do so. Pretty important to do so and join the Discord. If there's confusion there, you can message me personally or privately, and I can kind of walk you through that. But there is where you can still register below, as well as on our website or our hacker pack, if you've heard of those. But without further ado, let's introduce our great speaker for today. So this is Filip. He is a product manager at Matter Labs. He's going to teach us a lot about, hopefully, zkSync and zkEVM today. If you have any questions from this session as well, periodically throughout, please drop them in the chat. We will get to them, and Filip is happy to answer those later. So Filip, thanks for being here. We're happy to have you. I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, Steve, and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining this presentation around zkEVM. So without further ado, I'll start. By the way, feel free to post any questions, as Steve mentioned, in the chat. I'll try, depending on the time limits, to answer them all as much as I can. Okay, first, my name is Filip. I guess introductions are in order. I've joined Matter Labs a little over a month ago as a product manager for mostly core stuff. I mean, protocol stuff, let's call it like that. And here to help out with anything regarding education and, helping you guys as well get introduced into zkSync, zkEVM, and anything regarding the protocol itself. I've been in this space for quite some time, ever since late 2013. I've been in more than a couple of crypto companies. I like to consider myself somewhat of a crypto veteran, being here for a long time. I've been in working on wallets, on different wallets, both private and public, light wallets, full node wallets. I've been working with block explorers, with protocol stuff, with I can't even remember how many products are there right now under my belt, to be quite honest with you. But I'm more than happy to be here because I believe zero knowledge is something of a passion of mine. I personally am not a cryptographer, I have to be honest, but I think that this is the next step in the crypto evolution, especially, with scalability coming forward. As probably, all of us have been seeing the previous bull run and saw how much extra, let's say, players have joined the field. I think that the next one will be even bigger, that comes into play, that we're really nearing a place for crypto adoption on a very large scale. And with that being said, something that changes our industry by orders of magnitude, and by the orders of magnitude, I'm referring to scalability, is bound to help us reach new heights and attain, introduce new products, and even evolve the current states of the industry to the new parts in, let's say, in the economy, in mathematics, and so on and so on. So this is a small quote that we in Matter Labs like also to share. It's also Steve Newcomb, the CPO, my boss. He also likes to share this quote quite a lot. That the success of technologies is not defined by incremental changes. It's defined by orders of magnitude improvements. And we need these improvements in technology, and any of these domains below. If it helps, if it's in a breakthrough technology, it results in, if we have a 10x improvement in it, it results in either user acquisition, huge user acquisition, or the expansion of that technology into completely new use cases. And I would like to maybe explain this through an example that's very common to all of us, which is the internet. Just look how much the moments when it happened, how much they actually exploded. How much internet was used just between the year 1995 and 2005. So we had the speed raise 100 times from 10 kilobytes per second to 1,000 kilobytes per second. In the meantime, that allowed for more websites to be made, from 23,500 to 60 billion websites. And even nowadays in 2022, we have like more than probably billions of websites. I mean, of course, some are spam and non-stationary and abandoned, but there's probably a lot of them that are active. The last information that I saw was that there was somewhere around maybe 2 billion or something like really active websites that people frequent almost all the time. So, and this all happened because this 10x moment happened, and that made the adoption basically explode. So yeah, this is a quote that on scalability that basically came from Vitalik himself. Probably many of you even heard this quote. And it's important to mention that zkSync completely shares the belief and the ethos of Ethereum. So once Ethereum manages to solve its scaling problems, it's going to be in a much better place to help be the substrate that allows all of those visions to happen. And those visions are huge, different, and span so many different sectors. So we are completely aligned with this statement. We want to help Ethereum and generally the technology itself become something completely new and completely relevant to even to the regular users, and not just those who are crypto enthusiasts right now. Okay, so maybe the first and the best question would be, why would somebody use zkEVM? And let's split this into two parts, the zkEVM part. So I'm jumping right into it, into the zkEVM, into the introduction to this new technology, let's call it like that. So zk, or zero knowledge, is currently the only tech that will allow us infinitely scale. It doesn't matter if that is 10x or 100x or 1,000,000x. With the technology coming, the new hardware technology coming, this will allow us to scale indefinitely, literally. We can go to, even if our humanity, if Elon Musk's, realizes his vision, we start going to Mars, we can use zk to actually, scale up our banking systems to Mars as well. Why not? That's a feverish dream I had at one point, using your bank system on Mars. And the EVM, of course, it's the most widely adopted VM in our industry. Probably around 90% the last time I saw of all the code was written, in basically the EVM. Okay, so what is actually zkEVM? So zkEVM is the name of the architecture that basically enables zero knowledge proof generation for the execution trace of smart contracts originally written for EVM. So as you can see, its architecture is based on the following components. First, the zk virtual machine, or the zkVM. That's a Turing complete risk-like virtual machine optimized for proving in a zkP zero-knowledge proof circuit. And it has several different implementations, like an executor, witness generator, and so on, a prover as well, and an LLVM-based compiler that contains of Solidity frontend, more precisely the Yule frontend, the Viper frontend, sorry, and the zkVM backend. And the next part is a special purpose circuits that heavily rely actually on Planck's custom gates and lookup tables as pre-compiles for the computational intensive operations such as non-algebraic hashes like KESAC, SHA-256, BLAKE2, and so on. Then storage access, or to be more precise, the Merkle paths, elliptic curve pairing, and last but not least, the recursive aggregation circuit, which combines the proofs from all the above mentioned parts. So as you can see, it's quite maybe a bit complex, but we all encourage you to go to our docs, which I will share the link to the docs of the version 2 zkSync, basically, which you can actually jump into the docs and read more about everything that I've basically written here. So it will be included alongside the presentation itself. Okay, now about the EVM, how do we actually improve the EVM? You know, we want to maintain the maximum compatibility, but we also want to provide some significant improvements over the EVM that increase adoption and benefit our, partners as well. That basically everybody who, not just our partners like for Matter Labs, but everybody who we consider a partner, for everybody who actually works on zkSync and who wants to utilize zkEVM. Yeah, so our compiler is based on LLVM, or low-level virtual machine, and LLVM-based compilers have become the default compilers for many of the today's operating systems, such as Mac OS X, iOS, FreeBSD, and Android. And they are among the most widely used because they enable us to improve the efficiency over the original EVM bytecode, because with LLVM, we can take advantage of the many optimizations and tools available in this mature ecosystem. And it can pave the way for us to add support for integrating code bases written in other programming languages with the LLVM frontend. Basically, this includes almost all modern languages, including Golang, Python, Rust, C++, so on. And by doing so, developers can build dApps and use blockchains in ways that are currently not possible. Imagine building a blockchain in C++, building a dApp, sorry, in C++ or something like that. That would be really cool, right? And also account abstraction, which is a completely new thing, and it's also included within our zkEVM. And this is a long anticipated feature in the Ethereum dev community, which improves, general adoption, and the user experience, the UX, in a great number of ways. For example, native support for smart contract wallets, is improved, which is critical for onboarding new mainstream users. It gives us a much better UX for multi-sigs. Transaction fees can be paid in any token. Protocols can now subsidize gas for users from their smart contracts, or even enable gasless transactions if necessary, of course, within their ecosystems or their user flows. And transaction batches or multi-call can be confirmed in one click, which is potentially a big UX problem on Ethereum today. So we basically took something that's been a very long ask in the Ethereum community, and we included it as an improvement within our zkEVM. Now, about the compatibility itself as well. So it is very important to mention that zkSync is optimized to be EVM compatible, but not EVM equivalent. And there are three primary reasons for that. Basically, what we wanted to create, we wanted to make creating a generalized circuit for EVM equivalence down to the bytecode would be prohibitively expensive and time-consuming. Then, by eliminating non-essential opcodes, we were able to massively reduce the overhead for producing proofs. And the opcodes we've chosen not to support are deprecated by Ethereum itself, or very rarely used in some very distinctive cases. In the case a project needs these opcodes, then modifications to work with zkSync are minimal, and according to our research, and do not require a need for new security audit. And basically, any smart contract that's written for EVM will be supported by zkSync 2.0 and will hold all key security invariants. So that, according again to our research, no additional security re-auditing will be required in most cases. There are some examples, some exceptions to this rule. So I will also share that part of our docs that you can actually see which are the contracts that contain the opcodes that we actually do not support in zkEVM. Also, it's very important to mention that 99% of smart contracts will need no modification to work with zkSync 2.0. Those smart contracts that use the non-support opcode that, as I already mentioned, can easily mod the code and avoid running new security audit. So just to finish up the presentation itself, zkEVM, we want to aim to help each and everyone in the community to scale up their solution to new levels, and to basically be able to create bankless transactions on Mars if it's necessary, And now I can go through some questions. Thank you for listening, for everybody. And I will also include my own contact as part with the presentation itself, so you can reach out to me. We're working with the community all the time so that we can basically try to maybe come up with some new ideas for you to work on the zkEVM.
Great. Thanks, Philippe. Yes, any questions you may have, please drop them in the chat now as we have him on call. Very useful space to do so, kind of act as an AMA type style. I think I saw one question that we had here in the middle. I can read it to you here, Philip, if you would like, from Akshay. I'm working in traditional finance, wealth management domain. I want to do a POC for financial advisor can share investment details to investors without giving kind of actual underlying instruments in investment like specific stocks and bonds, etc. Can I achieve this project where blockchain tools and softwares are not allowed to install in the firm?
That's a very interesting question. Actually, yeah. We want to allow maximum freedom. If you can use non-blockchain tools to be utilized within the blockchain space, why not? Let's give it a try. So I would definitely, need more details and maybe some more detailed requirements on what you're actually aiming to build and how that would, could potentially be ported onto zkSync for maximum scalability. So why don't you reach out to me and we can iron out the details. We can just talk about, sign an NDA if this is necessary, of course, and just you can share all the details about what you need, and we can try to help you out, to port you basically to zkSync.
He's asking.
I'll be sharing, I'll be sharing my my contact info alongside the presentation itself and our zkSync Discord, also the dev community, and my email plus my Telegram contact.
Any other questions? Yep. Let's see. Do you have some project ideas that could be built during this hackathon? I feel like AA is mainly used by wallet developers.
It's true. It's true. AA is definitely used a lot by wallet developers. One of our biggest partners, Argent, that's going to be that's actually actively participating in the development of account abstraction. Regarding ideas, we're open to anything. Let's brainstorm. I think there's so many potential probabilities from yield farming, DeFi and NFTs and whatever you feel like most comfortable in, whatever your pick of the industry is. Let's talk about it. I'll reach out. I'll give you my Discord handle as well, so you can reach out there to me. AA is account abstraction, by the way, which is one of the biggest, let's say, points that differs, zkEVM from EVM.
I am just posting kind of the page of the zkSync challenge that's happening with this hackathon. It's all posted in this kind of Notion website that we have. If you scroll to the bottom, it will explain a little more in the prizes and to use account abstraction for their challenge. Any other questions here today before? Great questions to start though. This is very good. Will zkSync products be censored as Tornado Cash is being censored?
Well, zkSync products, so depends on what you refer to. We are giving probably anybody, abilities to build on zkSync. So do you mean like products that are developed by us, by Matter Labs, or by the community? Because I cannot guarantee that, some countries will have to, blacklist certain products. I cannot, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I could say that, but yeah, we will give the maximum potential freedom that's, according to laws, basically.
I guess maybe he's relating to validators are not letting Tornado Cash transactions to go through.
Tornado Cash, yeah. I mean, Tornado Cash is a very specific use case, and unfortunately, it's been a big, I guess, problem would be maybe it's a bad word, it's a good word, but in the recent months, but there's been a lot of hype and a lot of talk about it. We will do our best to comply with anything that's humanly possible and according to the laws of countries. Basically, we do not want to deviate from that. We want to allow maximum freedom to our users, but we do not want to become illegal, basically.
Great. I think a question from Pierre here.
Mhm.
How does zkSync help with user privacy, and if so, how do they?
Depending on what you, I mean, that is a bit of a complex question. I have to split into two parts. If you're using zkSync, in general, I mean, it doesn't deviate from the Ethereum ethos. The privacy. Basically, you can use your MetaMask with zkSync 2.0. So if their standards, for privacy are good for you, then basically they are also going through always to the zkSync as well. And if there's a product that's built on zkSync that maybe sacrifices a bit of a user privacy for some use case of theirs, then it's upon them to kind of allow that. So we want to allow the entire spectrum of basically of products, and people can choose what they want to be on, and the products they want to share their information with or don't want to share the information with. So it's for us, we want to provide both maximum privacy and the other spectrum as well, depending on the product being built there.
Great. Let's see. Any last questions? Yep. Akshay again. Can zkSync be used in traditional investment banking for fast transaction processing or stock settlements?
Absolutely. I don't see why not. Of course, I'll be quite honest with you. I am, it depends on the country, but the laws and the compliance around investment banking is something to be looked into and researched. But from a pure technological standpoint, I don't see why not. You could build a product on top of zkSync 2.0 on mainnet or testnet that could be used for traditional investment banking. As I mentioned, we allow for maximum scalability and maximum freedom. So yeah, we aim to do it at least. So yeah.
Great.
What is the finality time for transaction? It's usually within seconds. It's on zkSync 2.0, it's up to 5 minutes. But right now, when the baby mainnet alpha comes out, it's going to be practically almost instant. Products that are using zkSync. So since zkSync 2.0 is not on mainnet yet, but we have around, right now we're at a number of 150 plus ecosystem partners that will use it. There are many of them that I will provide you all the examples as well. Maybe I should also include that in the presentation, but there are many of them that are actually utilizing, that we're going to be utilizing zkSync 2.0. Argent Wallet being one of them, and yeah, and so on. Just look into our Medium page. I can share that with you as well, our Discord, and then you'll be able to see some of the biggest partners that are on the scene for zkSync 2.0. To be quite honest with you, I'm not sure which ones I can share right now because of the legal contracts, but feel free, I'll share all the relevant links and you can basically just research for them yourself. What applications would you like to see built on zkSync? Everything. Why not? A bank on Mars. I see that as the best possible application being built on zkSync. No, just kidding, of course. Anything that, from my point of view, anything that will allow us to increase adoption of crypto and blockchain technology, just to be more precise, in general, in our entire world, I would love to see it built on zkSync, whether it comes from traditional finance or DeFi, but I would love it to see its adoption increase in orders of magnitude.
Let's see. Any last questions here? I know we got on a little roll there. That was nice.
Yeah, I like these questions. Great community. Thank you.
Great questions. Any plans for training or specific courses to build on?
Oh yeah, there's some news coming about that. I can't share a lot right now, but let's say that we really are invested and focused on to education. And there will be some news coming in the next couple of I think weeks, maybe a month or so, or maybe even months. We'll see. Not sure what status that is in, to be honest with you. And also regarding education itself, I need to mention it. Please, we are revamping our V2 docs. I'll be sharing, as I mentioned, I'll be sharing that link with you guys, and feel free to go there, read about zkSync 2.0 as much as you can. Feel free to leave feedback on the Discord community. I am there as well. Feel free to reach out to me. So yeah, feel free to go through anything, and we are actively working on the training and courses materials and education in general. Can zkSync help with privacy preserving apps like KYC? Yeah, sure. It definitely, again, depends on the apps built upon zkSync, but it's one of the use cases I definitely see being implemented on top of it. Maybe even a layer 3, specific layer 3, which is something that Steve Newcomb, again, the CPO, talked about a lot. Yeah, zkSync on Mars. I'm gonna become a meme for this, I guess.
Yeah, and it sounds like there's a lot of new zkSync updates kind of on the horizon that are in the pipeline. We can't quite announce them yet, but you gotta please follow. I think I posted earlier the Twitter of zkSync. That's probably one of the better ways to know, as well as Filip was saying, the Discord and Medium, to stay up to date kind of on the news, what they're up to, and new education and such. So please check those out.
Absolutely. Twitter, Medium, Discord. Feel free to share all of our. I will also be sharing all of our channels so that you can jump in and see all the news in real time. And I share my Discord on the chat as well. You can feel free to add me there. I can't promise I'll be answering all the questions immediately, since there's a lot of work, especially this week around the minute launch. But everybody will, I strive towards the zero inbox policy, so everybody will get an answer. I can definitely promise you that.
Do you have a Twitter or anything like that we can follow you on?
Not yet. We're working on it. Not yet. I'm working on it, since I'm quite new still at zkSync, and so far I've only been a lurker on Twitter, not really a poster. But yeah, that's probably about to change.
Okay, great. Awesome. Well, if that's the rest of our questions, you can squeeze them in if there's any more. We really appreciate you coming here, Filip, and talking to us a little bit more about kind of what is zkEVM, and even some questions specifically on zkSync. We will have the next workshop of kind of the layer hack this Thursday, excuse me. So in 2 days, we'll have one building on zkSync 2.0. So as we kept referring to building on zkSync and what zkSync 2.0 is, that will be a great workshop to go to, kind of understand what's happening, as well as we have another one on Boba. So Boba Network, I do have to say all of the workshops that are happening within this hack, but that one will be a great one to go to learn more about zkSync. Any other words from you, Filip?
No, just thank you everyone for listening. Feel free to reach out. I'll answer each and every one of you. If you have any ideas for new projects that you want to see built on zkSync, feel free to reach out. If you are considering a career change, we are also hiring, so feel free to apply on our website. And yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to you guys again soon.
Thanks so much. All this will be posted and recorded on our YouTube and Medium tomorrow, so if you would like to review. But thanks again, Filip. Thanks to the zkSync team for making this happen as well.
Thank you, guys.